And on this call, you guys, I'm so blessed to be able to introduce you. Some of you reintroduce you. Some of you just give the guy just some virtual hugs and some love in the chat because you know him. Jimmy Smith. Jimmy, I want to set the stage for you. He is the all-time highest grossing income earner in all of Isagenix. He is the darling of Jim and Kathy Coover, our owner's eye. And he's been a beacon of hope and possibility for so many people. He'll talk a little bit about his history, 40 years as a butcher. If anybody who in the chat said they're in Pennsylvania, he's from Westchester, Pennsylvania. He's a family person, but he will make you feel like family too. And with that, Jimmy, hello and welcome.
Hello, Jessica. What a call. What a team you have. Oh my God, no wonder you're the fastest growing team in Isagenix. Jessica, I never had a team this big when I first started, ever, when I first started.
Well, I love that you're talking about when you first started, because rocket ship it was, but will you take people back and give them a little of the history of Jimmy the Butcher Smith? Just tell people about who you are. Take us back in time on the timeline.
Yeah, I was a butcher for 40 years. My father was a butcher. My grandfather was a butcher. I thought it was my destiny to be a butcher, and I did it for 40 years. And then I realized they told me, Jimmy, you're too small for the job. I hurt my back and they put me out on disability. I was only 56. I'd been in the butcher shop since I was 16. And in 40 years working as a butcher, I earned a total of $400,000. That comes out to an average of $10,000 a year. I raised 6 children on an average of $10,000 a year. I know what broke is. For 40 years, I lived a myth. I thought the only way I could make a living was be a butcher. And then I had to go find a new career. I stumbled on the network marketing at age 62. Wow, I was fascinated by the concept, people helping people, the duplication concept. I said, I'm going to do this. This is about democracy in its finest form, people helping people, just like you do, Jessica. You help people, you pull people up. Keep reaching down, pulling people up. I love that concept. From age 62 to 67, I lost money. I went bankrupt. I was teaching myself the industry. From 67 to 74, I made about $2 million. And then I caught on. You caught on much quicker, Jessica. I caught on. I got the hang of it. From 74 to 94, the last 20 years, I have made literally a fortune. It's to tell you the amount, it's like obscene, so I won't even, it's just millions of dollars. I have 6 children, 32 grandchildren, 44 grandchildren. I got a total of 75 or 76 altogether. If everybody lost their job, in my entire family, nobody was working, listen to this, folks. I could take care of the whole family. I could keep them in luxury for the rest of their lives. Isn't that cool? That's what money means to me. It's not about the money you make. It's what you can do with the money. Poor people can't help poor people. Rich people can. That's my story. I'm not sticking to it.
Here's what people, I hope, are hearing you say. You came into this industry as a trained butcher. You had no network marketing experience, but you are self-taught in this industry.
Absolutely.
So you knew, but here's the, I have loved hearing you tell people you joined a lot of companies before you got to Isagenix.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You name it, I joined it. Somebody said, Jimmy, how many companies have you been in? I said, how much time do you have? It took a while.
And you did that to really learn and to really see where is the best comp plan? How can I really capitalize on the leverage, the opportunity? How can I do it best? Talk about, if you wouldn't mind, just meeting, when Carol Taylor picks up the phone and how bold it was that she did that, how you got involved in Isagenix. Well,
I was involved with Carol Taylor back in one of the early companies I got into. She sponsored me into a company, and I wasn't crazy about the product. I was crazy about the comp plan. I didn't know what I didn't like about the comp plan, but it just didn't feel right. So I had to go on and learn other comp plans. And then later on, she joined me in another company where I had gotten to 5,000 a week, and she did it for a while, and they couldn't get their act together in Quebec, Montreal, where she lives. So she went back to her old company. And then we stayed friends. We promised each other. We said, look, if you ever find a company down the road that you feel on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 10 plus, we promised we'd call each other. So lo and behold, May 25th, 2002, I get a call from my dear friend Carol Taylor. She said, Jimmy, this is Carol. You remember me? I said, sure I do. She said, you will not believe the company Peter and I have found. Peter's her husband. She said, Peter lost 31 pounds in 33 days. He looks awesome. He looks 15 years younger. Now, she knew I was 74 at the time. She knew I was making a six-figure income in another company, but she didn't know for the first time in my life I needed to lose weight. I said, Carol, I need that product ASAP. If that product works for me, I'm going to drop everything I'm doing. I'm going to run with you. Well, she prayed like crazy for a month that that product would work for me. And thank God it worked. I lost 21 pounds, 4 inches off my waist. I walked away from $5,000 a week that had taken me 8 years to get to, 8.5 years working hard to get to 5,000 a week. I dropped it like a hot potato. And I said, Carol, explain the comp plan to me because I'm going to have to get out of the gate quick because I'm going to lose my check in this other company. And she explained the comp plan. And I said, Carol, I don't think so. I don't think they can pay that kind of money. That's too much money. I can't pay that. I said, but you know what I'm going to do, Carol? I'm going to make as much money as I can before they catch on. Well, guess what? It's 20 years later. They've never missed a check. They've never been late. And the only time they were wrong, I thought they overpaid one. I called corporate. They said, no, Jimmy, that's a bonus you won or a reimbursement for your airfare to Celebration or your room. And what a company. That's a legacy company. That's a company that everybody wants to be part of. Everybody.
So I want to just make sure that everybody really appreciates what you just said there. There's a couple of things. One of the things that has always struck me when I've heard you tell that story is that you and Carol Taylor are two strong examples of people who are just good to people. A lot of times in network marketing, it gets weird and people, you leave a company and people get all like, I'm never going to talk to you again. It's so, they take it so personally. They're ugly to people. You guys said, we love each other, whether you're here or there, I'm going to love you from afar. And thank goodness you kept loving each other because that was a great phone call. But what the boldness that it took 20 years ago, he was making $20,000 a month. Am I correct in this company?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The other company.
$20,000 a month. And she's asking him, can you leave it behind and see what I'm up to? And trust me. And I'll tell you, that took boldness in Carol, and it took boldness for you to look at it. And so you look at this company, you see the products really work, you see this compensation plan. Talk about the early days, what you were doing. There was no social media. What did you do?
Hey, listen to this. There was no cell phones. There was no social media. I didn't even have a computer. I didn't start using computers till I was 74. And in the beginning, I would sign people up and fax the application to Carol, and she'd place them for me. We had nothing, and we had one product in 9 days. We were in one country, the United States. No Zoom calls like this, none of this. And my wife was upset because I was walking away from. She said, "Why are you walking away from 5,000 a week?" I said, "Well, you're very upset, aren't you?" She said, "Yes, I am." I said, "Well, my dear, if I tell you why I'm walking away, you're really going to get upset." She says, "Tell me." I says, "I want to make 50,000 a week." She said, "Oh my God, Jimmy, you're sicker than I thought you were." She said, "You need help, Jimmy. Nobody makes $50,000 a week, Jimmy." I said, "Well, I am, if you don't mind. I mean, in all humbleness, I'm going to make 50,000 a week. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I know I'm going to do it because that's what the plan says I can do." And she was really, really upset. She did take me to a few professional people like a, counselor, psychiatrist.
Okay, so they say like people think you're crazy until they think you're brilliant, and so I know that she eventually thought you were brilliant.
Well, she was very frugal her whole life. Once she didn't like to talk about money, or she didn't like that word banker. Once the money started rolling in, she came in Ethan Allen junkie. She decorated a 9,000 square foot house with Ethan Allen furniture and table. One time I counted 23 tables. I said, "Man, you really like tables, don't you?" She said, "Well, some people like clothes, some people like tables." Every time I bought a sport coat or a suit, she bought a table. But God bless.
I've seen your sneaker collection. So I don't know. You're an aficionado of style, that's for sure. Okay, so you get to doing faxes and all these things, and where are you meeting people? How are you finding this to build these huge organizations?
Well, that's it, guys. Like if we had what we have the Zoom call right now, where you can be all over the world. You could have all these different people from every state in the union. You can have them all over the world. Back when I started, it was really, really hard. I had to drive 20, 30 miles. I had to fly to Florida. I had to fly to Toronto. I flew to Toronto to do the first in-home for Karen Rodriguez in her house. She had 23 people, all from another company, and every one of them signed up at that meeting. And all we had was a 9-day, and we didn't have no tools. I'm telling you, it was today is the best time to be in Isagenix. It's the best time to be in network marketing. And if you guys just follow Jessica, just follow her footsteps, let her be your leader, let her set the pace that she's doing already. Each and every one of you, each and every one, there's no reason why every one of you can't be an ISA millionaire. And I believe in the next 10 years, Isagenix is going to hit $1 billion in sales. With just the collagen, did 100 million the first year with the collagen. We did like our first full year with a 9-day. We were lucky to do like 38 million. We did 100 million, and I think the collagen Alexa, like you said, is a market disruptor, a game changer. And this company is going to reach $1 billion. Going to make more ISA millionaires the next 10 years than the last 20, maybe double. Really, I mean that. And all it takes is just follow the leader. Jessica's your leader. Follow the leader. Follow the game plan the company has laid down. Be a product of the product. Use the product every day. Share the product with everybody you care about. Share the opportunity. Never stop talking to people. Never stop taking. Look, I just got my biological age checked at an anti-aging clinic. They tell me my biological age is 73. I've been on these products for 20 years. Guess what, guys? If I didn't make any money, the health I'm enjoying today, the mental acuity, the way I sleep like a baby, the way I eat like a horse, like a young man. People say, where do you put it, Jimmy? You know, your body needs protein every day. The day your body gets inadequate protein, you age with depressing speed. I feed my body like I was a professional racehorse. I get my protein every day. I take the products. I take the collagen. I take the adaptogen. I take the nootropic. I take Zanko. I take the Ionic Supreme. My refrigerator is full of Isagenix products. I'm a product of the product, and my income is a product of the compensation plan. You guys have the best leader in this entire company. You're so fortunate to have Jessica leading you, leading the way. And all you have to do is be coachable and teachable. Do exactly what she suggests you do. We can't tell you what to do. We can only suggest what you do. If you want what I have, there are certain things I must suggest you do. And it's all Jessica can do is suggest and tell you what she thinks you should do. And if you do it and you never quit, never, ever quit. Quitting is not an option. I will see all of you ISA millionaires, each and every one of you. There is no reason in this world that you can't be an ISA millionaire. You'll see it when you believe it, not a minute sooner. If you want to see anything in this life, you have to believe it first. Believe it'll be yours, and it'll be yours.
As a butcher, you did not probably engage in lots of personal development, but you are very developed. Your mindset is unmatched. I know you're very close with Denise Wiggins. She has a very strong mindset. You're matched in that, but she's done a lot of work on it. Where did you develop such strong belief and conviction?
It's hard to believe. The person I started waiting on women when I was 14 in a grocery store. And at 16, I start waiting on women for their meat. Now, somebody said to me, Jimmy, do you think waiting on women for their meat for 40 years helped you build your business? I said, yes, it did. When you wait on women for their meat for 40 years, if you don't learn nothing else, you learn patience. Patience. The Jimmy Smith that cut me for 40 years could not do this business. I never was into self-help. When I got into network marketing, somebody told me you have to do some self-help. So I went to my first ever, in 1988, I was about 62. I went to my first motivation. I went to hear Zig Ziglar and Brian Tracy speak, each for 4 hours, my first, and I love them. Zig Ziglar came out on the stage and said, I used to be a butcher. I almost jumped out of my seat. He said, I worked my way up to meet manager. I said, wow, I was meet supervisor. And I honed in every word he said. And he said this, something profound that jumped out. You'll have whatever you want in this life if you just help enough other people get what they want. Isn't that what we do? Jessica, is that what we do? We help other people. All these beautiful people I'm looking at here. If you succeed, Jessica succeeds, I succeed. If you fail, Jessica fails and I fail. That's democracy in its finest form. Why am I on this call? I want Jessica to succeed. I want her to be #1 income earner in the company someday, and she will be. And guess what? I want all of it to be number 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you can pass Jessica, more power to you.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jimmy. So we have on this call also Lauren Frierson's team, who's absolutely on fire. I know you've watched them have record epic success. So we've combined forces. And I'll tell you what, you know what it's like to have to put people together as running partners. Will you just speak about that? Just as you were running beside Carol Taylor, you then watched Susan and Carolyn run together. Will you talk about that?
Yeah, I made up my mind when I sponsor. The word sponsor in Webster Dictionary means take responsibility for their success. When you sponsor somebody in this business, you take responsibility for their success. That doesn't mean you do it for them. That means you help them. You do whatever you can to help them. You can't help someone if they don't ask you for help. You can't help someone if they don't let you help them. And you definitely can't help someone if they don't help themselves. I recognize that Susan Slide called me, and I was driving down to Atlanta, Georgia, and we spoke for like an hour and a half. I had a driver, and she said, Jimmy, you don't know me. My name's Susan Slide. I said, yes, I knew you. I seen you in my downline. I said, I'm wanting to give you a call. And so we started talking. She said, I committed to auditorship for 7.5 years. I said, why 7.5 years? She said, I promised my husband. Took him 7.5 years to become a certified public accountant in Canada. She said, I asked him to give me the same time to become a millionaire in Isagenix. She said, do you think I could do it? I said, well, nobody ever committed to 7.5 years auditorship. I said, I think I'll do it in half the time. Guess what? She did it in 3 years. She was a millionaire in 3 years. But Carolyn Rodriguez, I was up in Toronto and I met Carolyn Rodriguez. And so she signed up under Marla Renza and she was doing an in-home. Now she's in Toronto. I'm in Westchester. She asked me to come up. I flew up to Toronto, 500 miles, to do the first in-home for Carolyn Rodriguez. She had 23 people there, all with a little bit of experience in another company. They all signed up. The whole 23 signed up.
Okay.
That's called, helping your people succeed.
Okay, so 2 pieces of advice that I've gotten in this company that I think are that I probably have gotten from you. I remember saying, like, I was really driven. I needed to replace my income to walk away. And I remember you saying, get wildly obsessed with other people making money. Just focus on what they're making. Look in their back offices, help them capitalize on this comp plan. And one day you'll look up and you'll have far exceeded your goals. And that was one of the best pieces of advice that I ever got. So thank you very much. And then the other thing is when we started focusing on the leader in action formula, changed everything on our team. So those are 2 things I think I got both from you. I've watched you do those things. There are many people that have come to, we've kind of become this home for people who've left the industry disappointed or walked away from other companies sort of heartbroken or let down. And they've come here and said, like, can this be a home for us? Can Isagenix be what I was looking for? Especially in compensation plan. And so one of the things that you're describing is just really that no generational cutoff, unlimited depth. Can you explain, you always explain things so beautifully. Will you explain why the comp plan had you so excited and what you love about it today?
Yeah, when I first started in network marketing back in like 88, 89, that was before supercomputers. And most companies, Amway, Shackley, Mary Kay, Herbalife, they only paid 3 levels deep. And then you would break away, become a breakaway executive, and you put everybody went in your first level because they only paid 3 levels deep. And they paid like 5% in the first level, 5% in the second, 5% in the third. So that's how I started out. And I used to get my calculator and say, gee, why wouldn't it be nice if we paid 4 levels, 5 levels, 6 levels, 7 levels? Then I found a company, ACN Phone, who used to pay 7 levels. computers came into play. They started getting creative. Then they had a unit level being paid 7 levels deep. Then they had the matrix, like a 5x7 that paid 7 levels deep. And 7%, 7 levels deep. After the 7th level, they didn't get paid. Then the company I got the 5,000 a week in, my last company, they were called a balanced binary, and they paid on the first 5,000 each leg. So when you got 5,000 your right leg, 5,000 your left leg, for a total of 10,000, you got 10% or $1,000. If you wanted to make another $1,000, you had to go below and build 2 more legs. Got the picture? Each 2 legs you built, you can make $1,000 plus 1 share of the leadership bonus, which was around 150, 200. They could actually make 1,100 to 1,200 a week building 2 legs. Then when Carol Taylor told me about the Isagenix 2/3, 1/3 binary, and she said, I said, well, how far down they pay? She said, all the way down. I said, no, they can't pay all the way down. They got to stop somewhere. She said, no. I said, Carol, I said, you're talking to Jimmy. I know numbers. I've been in this industry for, but you know what? 20 years later, they pay unlimited depth, 6% unlimited depth, 2/3, 1/3. When you have 600 one leg, 300 the other, for 900, that's cycle, pays $54. This plan works like a charm. It's been working for 20 years. Don't question it. It works. I questioned in the beginning. I told Carol, I don't think they can pay it, but I'm going to make as much money as I can before they catch on. Thank God. Thank God they knew more than I did. Jim Cooper was a very astute businessman. He knew his stuff. He knew what he was doing.
Everyone in this call most likely is in your downline. If they're part of Lauren and my organization, some are guests, but if they're part of my organization or Lauren's organization, we're in your downline.
Absolutely.
You're on our volume.
Absolutely. I love you.
Unlimited depth. And you're right, is that most companies, even the best companies, 6 or 7, if you're in a 7 level, you're probably getting paid a fraction of percentage. And let me tell you, there's so many people that end up below those pay lines and no one helps them because no one's good as getting paid. Here, it is amazing. You reached down to help us when we just first got started. You did an event. Will you talk a little bit about this? This was a turning point in my business. Will you talk a little bit about what you offered to do and then how we took you up on it?
Yeah, I actually went out to your house and did an in-home in your house, remember? And then I offered, I have I have a training center, 3,000 square foot in my lower level of my house. And some people call it a basement. I call it a lower level. It's not a basement, right, Jessica? It's a training center. And so anyway, Jessica brought a few groups to my house and they got bigger each time. And then all of a sudden, Super Bowl Sunday a few years ago when the Eagles were playing New England for the Super Bowl, didn't start till 6 o'clock. Jessica shows up at my house with 82 people. 20 people stood up for 4 hours. And they told me at the end of the meeting, Jimmy, we were stood up for 4 more hours. They loved it. Right, Jessica? And so Jessica, her business exploded. Her business has been exploding ever since. And so every one of you, I have a vested interest in every single one of you. Anyone, I would do a 3-way for any one of you. I'd do a team call for any one of you. If you wanted to fly in my house and get a training, I would say yes. I just want everybody to succeed. What I have accomplished in this life, I would want it for all of you. Each and every one of you should have it. And my dear friends, I would not be on this call, this Zoom call, telling you to do it if I didn't believe in my heart and soul you can do it. I believe with every fiber of my body. But let me tell you this. It takes persistence and determination. It takes grit. It takes staying power. It's not easy. It's simple, but it's far from easy. And what makes it hard is people. My favorite song, God is great, beer is good, people are crazy. You made how much last year, Jimmy? I didn't say last year, my friend. I said I made it last week. And I remember exactly what I did, and I'm willing to tell you what I did, so you can do it. Oh, Jimmy, I can't do that. Why would you say you can't do something without even knowing what you have to do? It's not easy, but it's simple. One on the left, one on the right. Where's the next to go? One on the left and one on the right. Can you go right, left? Yeah, right, left, left, right. You keep putting people in your organization until a Jessica shows up, a Jimmy shows up, and a lot of other people on this call show up.
Yeah, you had a lot of people in your
organization. Show up.
you had people come into your organization who had network marketing experience, but you had a lot of people like Lauren and me are two examples. We didn't have any network marketing experience, and you will help anyone. And I love that so much about you. I will say this, that I know there are some guests on here who just got on to say like, hey, are these products for me? So if you can look at Jimmy Smith, and I don't mean to state the obvious, but you're 94 years old. And I don't know many 60-year-olds that have your mental acuity, your stamina, and quite frankly, your energy. And so would you mind just speaking a little bit about the product side, why you were excited then, why you're excited now, and why you're more excited for the future?
When I joined Isagenix, I was not healthy. I was way overweight. I needed to lose weight. I was not taking care of myself. When I got into Isagenix and I got on the 9-day, did 2 perfect 9 days, lost 21 pounds right off the get-go, 4 inches off my waist. I got excited. And I've been on these products for 20 years. And I'm enjoying health. I'm telling you, like, I don't know what you're supposed to feel like at 94, but I feel awesome. I paid $5,000 to get my blood work biological age tested. And they told me my biological age is 73. Now, I don't know what that means, biological age 73, but I know I feel great. Like Jessica said, I have energy. I go to bed. I sleep like a baby. I eat good. I take all the products. Most all the products. I take so many products. It's like, and I have all my family on the products. My dear friends, your number one wealth is your health. We all look the same in intensive care with the tubes running in it and the tubes running out. We look the same, we feel the same. Your number one wealth is your health. And Isagenix will give that to you. If you never make a dime, you'll have your health. That's more important than money. What's more important to me today at 94? Money or health? You better believe health. Number
Absolutely.
one.
You're so vital and vivacious, and I love that. And I'll tell you just one quick soundbite that Janie Elo said to me early on. She just said, when I was realizing the products were changing the game for me, when I looked at my husband and just said, you look incredible. And he's like, I've never felt so good. Is this stuff legal? And she said, if you love it that much, and you know, some of your friends feel like you did a couple of days ago, 2 weeks ago, you know, they're feeling miserable. They're on their knees praying for a solution. They literally are locked out of half their closet, exhausted, constantly miserable, snappy with kids. If you see that in other people and you know that this has shifted for you, you're either sharing or you're stingy. Guys, that for me was like a moment of, wow, you're either sharing or stingy. Why would you watch your friend, someone you care about, suffer? But I think even more telling, Jimmy, what really says it is, I want everyone in my life to feel like you do at 94. And I think there's nothing, all of us on this call know how precious health is.
Yeah, it's like I thank God every day. I really do. I feel so blessed. I feel so fortunate to have so many beautiful people in my lives. You know, this is the hardest thing I do. Look at all your beautiful faces and see you smiling and listen to Jessica cheer you on and tell you what you can do. And it's just a beautiful way of living.
Hey, you haven't stopped. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, you and I were on a call and you were asking me like, what am I doing? I'm asking you what you're doing. And you were like taking notes on doing some things. It's just crazy to me. But the headline there is, you haven't stopped. I mean, Jimmy, let's be honest, for everybody earmuffs on this, but I'm going to say you've made over 60-ish million, 70-ish million, something in that ballpark.
Up a little bit, but that's okay. As a family, it's astronomical. Like, as you know, the first 2 people I sponsor were my 2 daughters. Well, the first 2 people I sponsored are my 2 daughters. They are both millionaires. Both millionaires. One has number 4 spot, one has number 20 spot. So I had number 1. My one daughter has number spot for number 4. Now, why am I telling you? Because the first 2 spots right under you is prime real estate. That's where you want your family members. That's where your husband, your wife, your child, your friend. That's prime real estate. And you know, if you come in and you sponsor, say, like a daughter or son or somebody on the right leg, and then you build the outside legs, get them going, and then you come in and build the inside legs. You know, get get your outside legs going, then come in and build your inside legs. You can max out for yourself and 2 of your family members. That's what I did. And I believe that's what you're doing, Jessica.
Yeah. So strategy, we always tell people, like, I honestly think if I'm talking to you, I say, like, well, do you have a partner? If you have a partner or a child that's close to 18 or over, grab them a position, just a customer spot. You don't have to do anything with it. Just let it sit there and they have this awesome spot. Put an order in every 6 months, keep that baby active. I mean, I personally, I kept my husband active. Janny Elo told Lauren and I, hey, get that spot early. And I thought, are you crazy? I'm going to pay shipping twice. Like, are you nuts? And then I started doing the math and we started building. I realized, like, oh my gosh, I started building my husband's position, and boy, is that a smart move.
What's neat, Jessica, while I'm thinking about it? This is the only company, as long as you're on Autoship, listen close. What keeps us on Earth? Gravity. Autoship is the network marketing, what gravity is to life. As long as you're on Autoship, your volumes never flush. I've been on Autoship for over 20 years. My daughter Kathy's been on Autoship for over 20 years. My daughter Grace was on Autoship for over 20 years. The first 3, my 2 door spots, had been on Autoship for 20 years, which means we've gotten paid on every penny of volume that has come into our organization. Isn't that cool? That no other plane out there does that. No other plane. There's no other plane. There's no other plane like this. There's no other products like this. No other company has Jim and Kathy Coover. Jim and Kathy Coover are the big difference in this company. Their integrity is impeccable.
I see some other, like, people that have been in the industry before, Jeff and Brandy Brokaw are titans of the industry. And I remember telling them, like, the volume never flushes. As long as you're active, 2/3 of our volume we build together, it never flushes. They're like, wait, what do you mean? At the end of the month though, right? It flushes, never flushes. And honestly, if this is your first company, you have no idea. This is my first company on this side, but I covered them all. And let me tell you, this is not common at all. So they ended up in the roles. I always say to people, if you got here first, you came into a Rolls Royce. You didn't start in a Toyota Tercel, like a lot of us had our first car, like a Geostorm, not naming names. But let me tell you, you started in a Rolls Royce, right? It's the best of the best. The other thing that I love, there's one of the stories that you've told me about financial advisors when you started making money. Do you remember the story of the I know I always ask you to tell me the story over and over again, but it's just it resonates with me so much. Would you mind just sharing about the financial advisor?
Absolutely. When you make the kind of money I make, you get a lot of financial planners seem to seek you out and find you. And all these financial planners are coming in and telling me, Jimmy, let me handle your money and I'll make it grow for you. And here's what I say to them. I invested $500 20 years ago. It's earned my family millions and millions of dollars. Now, if you have a better plan for me, please tell me, please start talking. If you don't, you might want to start listening.
I love that story so much. And I remember you building an elevator in your house, and just the way that you approach people just with love, I think is so great. So if you met someone, let's say you sat next to someone on a plane and they ask you, Jimmy, what do you do? You're happy, you're healthy. You tell them they're 94, they fall out of their seat. What do you say that you do?
Well, the last event I was at, I was in first class. I sat down and, people are coming in and I'm getting up and hugging, kissing and hugging. And so the guy sitting next to me, and he's all of a sudden, after everybody settled down and the plane's getting ready, he looks at me and says, what do you do? Who are you? Why are all those people hugging you? Why are those people? Well, guess what? I signed him up. He lived out by you out that way. And, he lived on a gated community with a golf course. He's a golfer, and he was way overweight. He says, when I told him my age, he says, you got to be kidding me. He says, you're up and down, up and down. He says, I'm like 30 years younger and I can't do that. He says, I can't jump up and down. He was overweight, so no doubt he got on the product, lost weight, and he's still in my business. That was my last event that I was at.
I love it so much.
I do that all the time. It's funny. Just today, I seen something online and I don't usually do this, but it was how to, plan your future, invest money. Anyway, the guy called me up like instantly, and here he's selling silver and gold, and he lives in New Jersey. So I prospected the guy. Guess what? He wants to come to Ice University in November in Philadelphia. He lives right across the river. And he sent me, he said, you know, put my neck out there. I'm not supposed to do this, but he's not supposed to do personal things with people that he's prospecting for the company he works for. But he's going to come to the Ice University. I told him, I just told him a little bit about what I do in my angel, and he was very impressed. So he wants to come to the Ice University. So.
Okay, so so I know a lot of people are gonna say they want to be one of the people that gets to give you a hug and spend some time just in your energy in person. So you're gonna be at the event in Philadelphia. That's in November. You'll be there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that that is an event that sells out. It's one of the greatest events because it's not just about learning Isagenix. If Brandy Brokaw, Jeff LaRocca, I know you guys were at that event. I know a lot of people that are on this call have been. Kim Malmstrom, I know you've been to a UIA. Ann White just can really speak to that event will change your life. It'll not only help you build your business, equip you with confidence, arm you with to really embrace no's, but it's a life-changing event. What would you say, Jimmy? What would you do if people were looking to learn a skill set for this business? What would you tell them are some of the best things they could do?
Well, that event is excellent. David does a tremendous job, a beautiful job. He does a beautiful job. He's really a great trainer. I know I went to Australia with him in 2009. I was 81, and we did 4 celebrations in 4 different cities. And man, and Sharon Walsh had just taken over Australia, and she told me, she said, after you and David left the place, our business just took off. Australia just took off. We did 4 celebrations, 1 in Sydney, 1 in Melbourne, 1 in Brisbane, and 1 in Perth. So I was up and down, Sydney to Perth, back to Sydney, Sydney to Melbourne, back to Sydney, Sydney to Brisbane, back to Sydney, and then home. It was a whole month in Australia. And guess what? I went out there to meet, and this is something you have to know. 7 levels down. I sponsored a guy in Montana, he led me to a guy in Oregon, who led me to a guy in Australia, who led me to Robert Graber, who led me to Barry Greenwood, who led me to Rita Metcalf, who led me to David Irene Miller, who became #1 in Australia. And they led me to Peter Kelly, who married Eric. And that led me to Gabrielle in New Zealand, who was #1 in New Zealand. You see how it goes? You never know who's going to show up in your downline that's going to take the ball and run. Here's a couple that never did network marketing. They just made 12-star platinum recently. David R.A. Miller. Unbelievable story.
That is so great. They're always in the top 10. So let's close it out with this, because I love when you do the compound effect of numbers. I know you normally do it on a whiteboard. Do you feel like you could share with people why this comp plan is so powerful with the compound effect?
Well, there's a lot of different number combinations I do. I do 5, 25, 125, 625, 3,000, 120, 15,000, 625, 78,000. If you do, if everybody got 5 people 7 levels deep, it'd be 97,000 people. If 97,000 people spent $100 a month, it'd be $9,700,000. We pay 6%, 6% to 9 million, 540,000 a month. Would that be a nice income? Yeah. Suppose you fail 90% of the time. What's 9%? Then 540 million, 54 million. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So our comp plan, the smallest common denominator is 2. You get 2. Just say you got Jessica in one of your legs and Jimmy Smith in the other. You got 2 people. If you got Jessica in one leg and Jimmy Smith in the other, can I let you know a little secret? You would never, ever have to worry about money ever again. You get 2 people, you work, that's your team. How do you do this business? Have a dream, form a team, focus in on your team. So you get to start with 2 people. You get 2 people, that's your team. Work with those 2 people, help them get 2 people. And then work with their 2 and help them. If everybody got 2 people and built them 3 levels deep, nobody would fail. And here's how that goes. You get 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 10 to 24, 40, 96. That's 2 to the power of 2, 12 levels deep. It's 8,190 people, drop to 190. 8,000 people spend 100 BV a month. That's $800,000 a month. 6% of 800,000 is 48,000 month or 12,000 a week. Now, what would that 100 BV look like? In the beginning, it was the 9-day. It was the 9-day. And after 9 days, you were out of product, and it was hard to take. It was hard to do, very hard. Now compare that 9-day to the collagen elixir. You get a 4 count. If you got a 4 count, $146, 103 BV, $12 shipping and handling, $160 for life. Get 2 other people to do the same thing. Remember, you need 100 BV to stay active, each 103 BV, 12 levels deep. Now, the collagen elixir is so much simpler than the 9-day. You put it in your fridge, you chill it, you shake it, you twist it, you drink it, you share it. My dear friends, there has never been a better time to be in network marketing. There's never been a better time to be in Isagenix, and you happen to have the best upline in the whole world, Jessica Redinger. And you had me along with Jessica to help you. How could you fail? How could you ever fail? There is no reason for you to fail in this business. I would do this 7 nights a week if you would ask me. If you wanted to do this 7 nights a week, I would do this with every one of you on this call. I want this for you. I want this for you. I have it. I want it for you. I want it for Jessica. I want it. Jessica, I predict, will be #1 income earner in this company one day. My prediction.
Thank you, Jimmy. I value it so much, but I'll tell you what I think is the coolest thing about these teams is that there are so many people winning. Like there was someone today that told me, well, that person's in it. You're an exception. And that person is another person on the team. They're an exception. And then they kept naming people and they kept calling them exceptions. And I said, well, wait a second. At a certain point, when you're naming, you've now named off 20 people. They can't all be exceptions. There's something that we've cracked the code on that's special here. And it's this PVC 1, 2, 3, 3-step simple system. It's duplication, it's depth, it's capitalizing on this comp plan. And I think the smartest thing we've ever done is we've looked above to people like you to say, tell people, validate this. So cast this vision for people and show them how possible it is. 40 years as a butcher and now 20 years as a multi-million-dollar head of a beautiful legacy in the Smith family.
My friends, I was just an average guy. Believe me, I was a C average student. I never excelled in anything. I thought I was a pretty good butcher. But if I can learn this and I can do this and go through what I went through to be where I'm at, guys, you can all do this. Every one of you can do it. Just the thing is, never quit, stay on the product, stay on ownership, and keep talking to people. The tools we have here, the Zoom call, we can do the Zoom call as often as you want. We can do it once a month. We can do it, and just bring your people on the call, bring guests on the call. I do a call every Thursday night at 8 o'clock and with Sunny in California and try and, help. And if people brought guests on there every week, they would build a dynasty. There's no doubt in my mind.
It's so true. The only way to fail
Quit.
is to quit. The only way to fail is to quit. I've watched people quit, walk themselves out the door, look for a reason to exit just before the next Lauren Frierson comes into their organization and they quit. Like, oh my gosh, you were at the 1 yard line of massive, explosive success. 2/3 of our income is built with other people. And Lauren Frierson comes in on your 1/3. Moment of silence for anyone who stops. So, and people ask me, well, oh gosh, I've heard a lot about people in network marketing losing money. Like in Isagenix, you only purchase your personal consumption products. In this house, we at least consume 700 or 800 BV. The kids are giving me the business tonight before I got on that we're out of a couple things and they're annoyed. So I'll tell you what, it's unbelievable. That nootropic for my students that are a little bit, my children who are a little bit unfocused, they sent me a text from school the other day, the twins, and they said, unbelievable. This stuff is unbelievable, Mom. I'm so focused on my schoolwork. I said, take 2. See how you do. There's room for improvement. So I'll tell you what, I'm so fired up, Jimmy. I don't know if you took, how many nootropics are you taking a day? Brett, clarity and focus.
The nootropic?
Yeah.
I'm just taking one a day because I'm taking so much stuff. I'm doing 2 of the collagen, 1 of the nootropic, 1 of the adaptogen. I'm doing the Zango. I'm doing the onyx cream. So
You're a poster child. I want to take it all. I want your same regimen. I'll do it. I'll do it for life. I'm on subscription for life. And I am so grateful to you. And I know other people are. I think you gave me one idea is that we should really host a fabulous dinner for you at UIA and invite some people that qualify for it and just really.
yeah, let's do that. Let's have a dinner. Let's do a little celebration or have a dinner.
It would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
I mean, just to be in your presence, though, I don't want anybody to miss out because you're a gift to this world. You guys, do you want to drop any questions in the chat or any kind of acknowledgement for Jimmy? That would be awesome. Otherwise,
I see Randy and Joel and their spouses. And how you doing, guys?
it's quite an organization, isn't it, Jimmy?
It is quite. Anytime you guys want to do another team call, just let me know. I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Well, listen, people are just giving you some love. I just want to invite you guys, come off chat and just give Jimmy his due. If you would, give him some claps. If you can unmute and just really just give Jimmy some.
Love you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Jimmy. So appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Happy trails.
Brilliant, Jimmy. Mwah, we love you so
At
much.
the end.
Blessings to you.
Oh, we love it. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night.
I love it, Juan. That's
Thank you.
And hey, everybody, tomorrow morning, I'd be remiss not to tell you it's a national holiday. Pumpkin chai spice plant-based shake.
So excited
They come out
about that.
tomorrow morning,
Yeah, they're not
approximately 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys, the flavor is off the utter chain. You're gonna want to get it. Tell everyone, grab 6 of them, grab some for your house, some for gifts, do some giveaways for your team. Take a picture tonight of your cycles. The work you do right now is what will drive explosive growth for this week. Let's rank advance. Let's have an epic push week. Have a great night. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Jimmy.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jimmy.